Morning. I am one of those stereotypical non-morning people, but I do want to thank you for inviting me, and thanks everyone for showing up. So I just wanted to get some sense of who all is here today. So designers, okay, developers, coders, okay. The rest of you are managers of some, yeah, okay. So any bankers or economists? Ah, we do have one. We're going to get you. Okay, so for years, does anyone know or use Xero, just out of curiosity? Okay, all right, awesome. So for years, I'm one of the founders, and it's been 6-7 years now, something like that we've been going, and so all that time I've been focused on the user experience of money and influencing the economics of small business in particular. And so I'm not a banker or an economist, and these fine fellows of Goldman Sachs are, and clearly they're very upstanding, smart, well-intentioned people that are in charge of fixing the economy. And yet somehow, whenever they're asked to fix the economy goes down the toilet. And so it just seems like maybe economists aren't the best people to fix the economy. And so in a sense, asking those guys to fix the economy is like handing over your wallet to these guys and saying, hey, will you watch this for me while I take a nap? So yeah, maybe not the solution. So who can fix the economy? Who do I, if you look out there, and it may not be a surprise to you that I believe that designers can fix the economy. I don't have the spectacles, but check shirt, tick, uniform almost in place, and so here's a designer, Johnny Ive, head of design at Apple, who's had a pretty massive influence on the economy. And so if you think about the economy of Apple, and the biggest company in the world, and not just the economic impact that they have had directly, and the design impact they've had, but also the economy around them, all the cottage industries and the developers and all the designers that have emerged because of what Apple has done. So that's a huge, massive effect. I'd say it's a fair chance that we wouldn't all be here today, or we wouldn't be doing the jobs we're doing if it weren't for this company and the work that these guys do. And their success is directly correlated to their design and his influence. So unfortunately, it's pretty sad, but most people still think of design as styling, as decorating, and designers make things look pretty. We're the serious engineer guys, and we're going to build something and then hand it over to you, and then you just tart it up. You just, whatever, make it look pretty, fuss about with it, right? So that is kind of the status quo still today. I see it all the time. In fact, I still see it at Xero quite a bit, and it's this constant battle to remind people, slap them about, and say, actually, design starts everything. So, and a lot of people here, the reason you're here is probably because you know this, and that you know that design goes much, much deeper than that. And the key, so think about this. All this technology existed for a long time. Touch screens, displays, but it took designers to actually put it together in a package that will change the way people think and behave. and it has completely changed the way people think and behave. So now, people just have this natural instinct, especially kids who, their first experience with technology might have been one of these. And now they'll go up to any screen and they'll immediately start to touch it and assume I can, and are very frustrated and confused when I can't directly manipulate something on the screen. So that's massively changed the way people think and behave, and that is the job of design. And that's what people underappreciate. Let's play a little word game. You see this word and you think painful. What else? Boring. Wow, I've never heard that before. Yeah, this is how I felt about accounting. This is when we started the company. We went out and talked to people, and this was unanimously the feedback that we got. And so people hate accounting, and that's a tough. So we're starting a company, and out of the gate, people hate they hate the product that we're going to try to sell them. So yeah, that's really challenging. And think about the impact it has on the economy. So accounting, this is your money, this is your finances, this is your livelihood, and you hate it passionately. And so you avoid it. And so it's just this vicious cycle and has a huge impact on the economy when people don't know and don't understand their money well enough. So huge challenge, right? This is pretty daunting, but it's also a fantastic opportunity. So instead of people saying boring, tedious, and painful about accounting, what if they said sexy, fun, addictive? What if I said, hey guys, what do you think when I say accounting? And you said, oh yeah, sexy, fun, addictive, of course, right? Well, so that would be a game changer, right? That would be, if you could flip it like that, that'd be pretty awesome and spectacular. And it would change the way people think and behave. So it still seems very strange to me that this is what we get people that constantly flood if you go on Twitter and you search up what people are saying about Xero. And so they're not saying it to us. They're just kind of proclaiming it as their kind of epiphany and their hallelujah moment that accounting is sexy. That they love Xero. It's addictive and fun, which must be unusual, and clearly it's extremely unusual. It's pretty much unheard of, and so it's still, that started out as a fantasy that we were going to do that, a pipe dream, and it still kind of feels like a fantasy that this is what people do say, and design is the key to all that. It all boils down to design. So let's see how that plays out. So this, when we went out and talked to people, this was, again, the typical response. People would rather do dental surgery than do a bank reconciliation. And so when we started out, went out and talked to people and asked lots of questions, and quickly discovered that cash flow is the key to a business's success, all businesses, success or failure, and particularly small businesses. And yet people are completely blind, and that's their biggest blind spot, they kept telling us. And part of the reason we realized is that every accounting system out there is predominantly focused on paying taxes. So do you know of any business person that's in business in order to pay taxes? Is that why you want to do accounting so you can pay taxes? No. And maybe that's why people hate it. They hate accounting because they associate it with paying taxes. And who the fuck wants to do that? So when we talk to people, we wanted to understand, well, what is it about cash flow? And what's going wrong exactly? And so we asked things, what do you do all day? And what do you do all week? What do you do? What is it that you're supposed to be doing? And really kind of, they'd start talking about things like their software and kind of the problems. And we were like, no. What do what is it that you actually need to get done? And one of the things they said was that a typical piece of work that they need to do is a bank reconciliation. And as we realized, this is kind of the foundation to cash flow. And as we asked more questions, it turns out, well, they're supposed to do it once a month. That's traditionally a bank statement arrives in the mail, and then you go sit down with your accounting system and make sure that the numbers in your accounting system match up the numbers in your bank, and so that you have an idea of where your money is going, and catch out things that you might not have noticed or expected. And so it turns out that most people don't do it once a month because they hate it, because they would rather, they're off at the dentist rather than doing a bank reconciliation. And so they would do it about once or twice a year, most often like once a year, at the end of the year. So by the end of the year, all that is doing is telling them where something went wrong, and it's somewhere months and months prior. And it's too late. They can't do anything about it. And it's actually really hard even to investigate and understand what happened and where it went wrong. It's just kind of too fuzzy and too out of sync with where they're at. And it's a mess, and there's nothing they can do about it. And that's, again, just think of the economic impact of all these small businesses in this same position. So how do you get somebody to do this thing that they hate so much, and that they'd rather go to get their teeth drilled than do this thing? So it seemed like the only way to entice people to do this is to make it fun, and make it easy. That's kind of, if you just ask the kid, what would you do? Well, I'd make it fun. Okay, it sounds easy. Now, how do you do that? Well, I did ask a kid. As it turns out, my 3-year-old at the time, every night after work, we would play this game. And you may recognize the game as kind of your classic matching game, memory game. And so he was addicted to it. So literally every night I'd come home and we'd play this. And I was addicted to it. Like once I got into it, I was like, all of a sudden, I couldn't stop. And that's classic addiction pattern. And it was always, so the game, if you're not familiar with it, is that you flip a card over, and then you keep flipping cards over until you find a match. You find a match, you take that off the stack, and then you keep going. And so the addiction really is, this is so easy. I just need to find it. Bam, I found it. Wow, that felt good. I'm going to do another one. Because it's so easy. All I have to do is and then you can't stop. And so, after playing this game enough, I realized, wow, this is actually just a bank reconciliation that we're doing in essence. We're taking transactions from the bank and we're matching them with transactions from our accounting system. And bank rec is just a matching game. And so we designed this bank reconciliation. There's some interesting twists and turns in that story, how it came about. And we designed it so that it is a matching game, so that you're just taking this transaction from your bank account and matching it up, and the computer does most of the work, because that's where, that's the easy part, that computers should be able to pattern match very, very quickly and very, very easily. And then all you have to do is click OK. And so you're just going down a list, and bam, 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 just click OK, and you're done. And so this is the killer feature. This is what people love and what they're addicted to in Xero. So we took the thing that they hated passionately and flipped it, and this is the thing that they sing the praises about. And it changed the behavior. So instead of doing it once every year, twice a year, maybe 3 times, kind of, on a very irregular basis, they're now doing it on average, 36 hours in Xero. So that's just a complete game changer, right? And that was all through design. The fundamental concept is still the same. You are still, technically speaking, just matching transactions in your bank to transactions in your records, in your books. But it's a completely different experience. It's, happy and sad. That black and white. And so we try to apply this same philosophy and approach to everything we do, and to the entire user experience, and to the entire process and workflow of small business.
This is Arthur.
Hello.
Treehouse architect, small business owner, dreamer.
I've always liked to build things.
And build things he has. Like all architects, Arthur chooses his tools with care. That's why he switched to Xero.
It's beautiful accounting software that runs in the cloud. That means I could share it with the people who help me run my business.
This is Lucy. She keeps Arthur's books in order, and she's good at it. With Xero, she even enjoys it.
Right now, I'm reconciling. Xero connects with our bank account so that each transaction comes up quickly and matches up, like it's magic.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Arthur. I'm just doing the bank rec.
Cool.
Xero allows unlimited users, so Arthur and his colleagues can work at the same time from different places, including his accountant.
I'm Charles Green.
With Xero, Charles has real-time access to Arthur's cash flow. There's nothing to install, upgrades are free, and everything is backed up automatically.
I don't have to be on site with Arthur to work on his books. It's all in the cloud.
That means he can work with all his clients, no matter where he is.
Nice work, Charles.
With Xero, these two make a great team.
There's a mobile app.
It's called Xero Touch. Arthur uses it to enter his receipts, check on his books, that kind of thing.
It's very handy.
And Xero lets Arthur keep track of his bills, which makes his vendors happy, which keeps him stocked with the finest lumber. And a business wouldn't be much of a business without money coming in, would it? That's where Xero's powerful invoicing shines.
I can send invoices to my clients, and they can pay online, so I get the money right away.
Xero lets Arthur and his collaborators keep the money flowing in all the right ways.
When I log in and see everything running smoothly, I do my best work.
Xero. It's a pleasure doing business.
So it's a pleasure. Let me put this back on. It's a pleasure doing business, and that's kind of what we try to approach every problem when it comes to accounting and to businesses. And so, I mean, even, we had a lot of fun making that video, and we try to have a lot of fun in everything that we do, and so that comes across. That's, if we're having fun, then our customers should be having fun. If we're not having fun, then you can guarantee that our customers are not going to be having fun. And so this is the guy that would rather do root canal when he used Xero, his experience with Xero. That it makes bank reconciliation fun, almost game-like quality to the whole process, and I'm actually disappointed when it's all done. Okay? That's radical. That is just transformational change, and it's all because of design. Like I said, that's not a technical change. They're technically doing exactly the same thing, but it's a complete change in the experience that they have. And so it's radically changed people's thinking and their behavior. And think about the economic impact that has on people's cash flow and small businesses' cash flow when they actually are very in tune with their money. Where they used to be completely out of tune with their money, and now they're completely in tune with their money. It's had a huge impact on people's lives and their businesses. So there's a famous Ford quote, Henry Ford, inventor, this so-called inventor of the car. He was asked, what did you, I forget what the question was, but basically his answer was, if I asked people what they would want, they would have told me they want faster horses. And that's basically what our competitors are building. They're building faster horses. They are focused on software and technology. Nobody likes software and technology. I bet everyone in here is, your careers depend on software and technology. And if I really asked you and you really told me your honest answer, you'd probably say, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. And it's true. Like, look at us trying to set up this projector. And it's because technology, you were saying it's designed, like, I can see why technologists are, paid so much money. Actually, it's their fault that this is so screwed. And if a designer was behind this, this would work beautifully, right? So we use design thinking to change the game and provide a better experience. And so nobody asked for bank feeds. Nobody asked for a matching game to do my bank reconciliation. And it's interesting now, we're, I think 135,000 customers, which is about a couple hundred, let's say 300. We have about more, like three users per org on average. So you do the math. I'll let the computers do the math. So we have a lot of people using it. And it's interesting when we roll out features. And so, so we have a long list of things people are asking for, and we definitely work on a lot of those things, but we work on a lot of things that people didn't ask for either. And sometimes they, when these features come out, they're like, why are you doing that? Why aren't you working on the thing I asked you for? And then over time, it kind of becomes clearer and clearer why we're working on these things that nobody asked for. And we're also having, design is having an impact on the way we're running our company, and the way that business runs. That and it's my crusade to make design the first thing that we do at Xero. So that's product, that's marketing, that's business strategy, that's support, that is everything in our business should really. Design thinking should be behind it. So it's not necessarily that designers have to run the company and do everything, although it's better if we are, and better if we are involved in everything. But trying to also help people apply that design thinking throughout the company, everyone. So it's kind of the key that design, starting things off with design and the importance of doing that, and really challenging the way people have done things, which is generally, like I said before, build it and then get somebody to design it, which just means styling it, which is absolutely backwards. It's just the wrong approach. And the other thing is, like, because engineers build things for systems, their customer, when a coder is doing something, they're building it for the computer. They're building it for the optimal system. They're not thinking of people, generally speaking. Their client is the computer. And for designers, that's all we think about is people. We obsess about what is a person thinking and what is a person feeling, and really sweat the details. So just, if I could bash that into people's head, that design is not about styling. Design is about changing the way people think and behave. And that's been my experience with the user experience of money. But this applies to any business and every business. And if you want to change the way people think and behave, you need to start with design first. And easy to say, hard to do. So thank you very much.